Hi, I'm Dr. Connie Zweig, and you may know me as the author of Meeting the Shadow, Romancing the Shadow, Meeting the Shadow of Spirituality, sometimes known as the Shadow Expert for that reason. In each of these books, I developed a method to work with our personal unconscious, which Carl Jung called the shadow. And it's this part of us that erupts in daily life and sabotages our conscious intentions. It may erupt in repetitive fights with people we love. It may erupt in depression or anger or anxiety or even addiction. And so I developed this method to make the unconscious conscious and begin to have a different relationship with it that I call shadow work. Now I've extended my work on the shadow into midlife and beyond with a new book called The Inner Work of Age, Shifting from Role to Soul. And in this book, we meet the shadows of age, the inner obstacles or shadow characters, as I call them, that deny age and worship youth, like our inner ageist, or the shadow that resists slowing down and self-reflecting and just keeps us working until we drop, which we call the driver. And there are many others that are the subject of my new book. So if you are 50 or older, if you are feeling a bit disoriented about this stage of life, if you're feeling regret about the past or wish to give forgiveness or be forgiven, if you want to find a new contemplative practice for this stage of life, or if you simply want more self-knowledge or more gratitude or meaning or contribution, then you'll find a lot of the tools you need in my new book. And you can discover how to reorient by turning within, how to attune to your soul's longing and cultivate a deeper shift in awareness. You can discover how to move through late life as a rite of passage, releasing past forms and identities, facing the unknown, and emerging renewed as an elder, filled with vitality and purpose. With a Medicare birthday, we become seniors. It's automatic in our society. But becoming an elder is an intentional journey that requires inner work. And that inner work includes completing unfinished emotional business, doing a life review, completing unfinished spiritual business, which many people don't think about, and serving something larger than ourselves. So with the many practices of shadow work and meditation that I offer in the new book, you can discover the treasures of this stage of life. You can discover a newfound freedom from the constraints of past roles and identities. You can emerge with a new sense of becoming who you were always meant to be beyond those roles. You can find a profound gratitude for the way that your life unfolded and a natural generosity that arises to share your gifts and wisdom as a lasting legacy. And you might even find a shift in identity from role to soul, so that you find a spiritual, essential sense of who you are. And finally, you might even find an opportunity to age into awakening and become a spiritual elder. In this way, age becomes our curriculum. Let me read you a little bit from the introduction to the book. Every generation has a tale, a myth, that's rooted in its cultural moment. A controversial war, a booming or stumbling economy, a breakthrough innovation, a political swing of the pendulum, a demand for social justice, a public health crisis, an ongoing climate crisis, even a collective mood of hope or despair. As a result, aging from the outside in retirement security, food and housing security, workplace ageism, race equity, social services, and healthcare options look different for different generations. But aging from the inside out, my focus here, is the same for all generations and for all human beings in any era. So we all have the opportunity to radically reinvent and reimagine the process of aging for ourselves. And I don't mean merely doing more or doing differently. I'm not using reinvention in the way that many experts do, from the outside in. That's the topic of most books about aging. Rather, my emphasis is on the inner world, the less familiar terrain of soul, the subtle yearnings that appear in our images and fantasies, the ways we respond or fear to respond to the messengers, the symbolic meanings we glean from them. As we learn the psychological and spiritual practices that are offered in this book, we discover how to orient to our inner terrain. We deepen our self-knowledge and become able to reimagine for ourselves how we choose to age. We shift eventually from denial to awareness, from self-rejection to self-acceptance, from obligation to flow, from holding on to letting go, even from distraction to presence. And that's the deeper dimension of age, the universal inner journey of expanded awareness, which includes the extraordinary possibilities for this stage of life, the unfolding of our emotional and spiritual authenticity and authority, even the unfolding of advanced stages of human development, which are described in every religious and spiritual tradition as the purpose of late life. This process is not about what we do or don't do, more work and more volunteering, or less work and less volunteering. No, it's about how we do it. The internal state of mind that can arise as we do this inner work of age. This deep work is a unique journey for each of us, but the hunger for it is universal. That's the end of the quote. So you'll want to come in to Boulder Books, one of my favorite indie stores, and pick up a copy of my new book, The Inner Work of Age, Shifting from Role to Soul. And you will meet your inner ageist and your driver and other hidden parts of you that are stopping you from discovering the vast potential of this new stage of life. I'm teaching a lot of workshops on this topic in the fall. You can email me at conniezweig@gmail.com, put workshop in the subject line, and I will send you my teaching schedule. So I hope this is an invitation for you to join me on this journey to extend our emotional and spiritual development along with our extended longevity. Thank you.